This YouTuber sucks and should probably be sent to Chile and be forced to mine lithium. Jitara here, and today I will be exposing Jitara. In today's video, I will be telling you guys real stories that happened to me. To be honest, I really had no good ideas this week, but luckily, I do live a fucked up cartoon life that allows me to have these interesting stories. Quick disclaimer. The stories I'm about to tell you won't paint me in a good light. In fact, you'll probably think I'm a loser after hearing these stories. But, yeah. Okay, before I tell this story, I'm begging you, don't click off the video. Because if you do, you might get the wrong impression of me. Okay. So essentially, while I was in line at the DMV getting my license, I lied about my age and said I was 18. When an 18-year-old high school graduate asked me how old I was. Please, I'm begging you, don't click off the video. I promise you, there is a good explanation. So what happened was that last year, I was finally getting my full driver's license. And I had been in line for hours. And one of the guys I was in line with was making small talk with me. Things were fine until he asked me how old I was. And for, no reason at all, I just lied and said I was 18. Well, that's not exactly true, as I did have a reason to lie. The truth was, I was embarrassed. You see, I was a man in my early 20s who was only now getting his full driver's license. So, I lied about my age, so I wouldn't seem like a loser. But, that backfired. Because just my luck, when I said that, the guy's eyes lit up as he said, "No way, bro. You're 18? I'm 18 too." My fucking stomach sunk, man, when he said that. And from that point on, he just wouldn't stop talking to me. We mostly talked about old video games and stuff, and honestly, it would have actually been pretty fun to talk to him had it not been for the fact that when he would mention how excited he was to be out of high school, and I would just be reminded of how much of a freak I really am. And it also didn't help that this guy was clearly excited to talk to someone his own age, which only worsened the disgust I felt for myself. Also, I tried to end the conversation multiple times, as when the conversation was at a lull, I put on some noise-canceling headphones, so I wouldn't have to continue living that terrible lie. But this guy fucking tapped me on the shoulder to continue the conversation, and I was just forced to continue talking to this guy for 2 more hours. Eventually, one of the DMV workers would come out and announce that they would only be seeing 8 more people. So not only was I crushed by the guilt and shame of tricking some poor high school graduate, I also wasted 8 hours of my life lining up at the DMV for nothing. So eventually I slinked away, with no license and a deep sense of shame. Also, I once told a girl I was texting the story, and I think she got the wrong impression, because she promptly blocked me after I told her the story. Anyway, the moral of the story is don't lie about not being a loser, because you'll end up feeling like an even bigger loser afterwards.
Oh! Somebody! Oh! He needs some milk!
Alright, I hope you're not eating for this one because this is gonna be gross. So, when I was a freshman in college, there were these delicious tacos from this taco truck that I would always get before my science class. But the problem with these tacos was that they would take a while to make. So one day, while I was waiting for my tacos, it started to rain, as an omen for how terrible my day was going to be. And then I felt a faint rumbling in my bowels, which I ignored. Eventually, I got my tacos, and then I sit down at a table. But then, it happens. I feel a pressure in my rectum, and from this point on, I knew what was happening. So I power walked with my tacos still in hand to a nearby single toilet restroom. I make it to the bathroom and close the door. But as I was scrambling for the light switch, it happened. I shat myself. I turned on the lights and then placed my taco tray onto the sink, and I waddled to the toilet with my head hung low. But here's the thing. I was still shitting while I was making my way to the toilet, because when I pulled down my pants, my shit got on the wall and the floor. After finishing my business, I threw away my underwear, and I did my best to wash my sweatpants in the sink. I then got paper towels and then cleaned up my excrement while I was wearing no pants or underwear. Although I did have a science class in 20 minutes, I didn't exactly feel like going after my ordeal. So I begged an acquaintance to drop me off at the mall, as unfortunately, I didn't have my house key. I would then buy new shorts from a Foot Locker, and I had to wait for my mother to pick me up. She asked me why I was at the mall, and I told her what happened. I could tell at that moment she was really disappointed in me. I still wonder why I shat my pants that day. Was it because I didn't take a dump in the morning? Or was it the fact that those tacos took 20 minutes to make? Or is it because I walked rather than ran to the bathroom because I didn't want to drop my tacos? The world may never know. So I had a third story lined up, and I thought it was pretty funny, but as I was writing it, I realized that it's definitely against YouTube's terms of service. So now I decided that instead, I'll just list out some of my unluckiest moments. Here we go. Someone made fun of my name in 2nd grade, so I locked myself in the classroom bathroom and cried for 20 minutes. And yes, we had a classroom bathroom. Someone said I looked like a girl in 2nd grade, so I locked myself in the bathroom and cried again for 20 minutes. I was playing tag in 2nd grade and someone kicked a mini soccer ball to my junk, and I laid on the ground and cried for 20 minutes. In 6th grade, someone threw a basketball at my head and I cried for 25 minutes in front of my whole class in the gym. I once pulled a $40 Yu-Gi-Oh card from a pack, but I was so excited that I bent the card. I once had a crush on a lesbian. A classmate accidentally dropped a concrete block on my foot. I found out that the person who I asked to prom only said yes because our math teacher offered her extra credit if she agreed to go with me. And finally, when I was a kid, I pissed on another person's car because I was too afraid to go inside McDonald's and use the bathroom. But I was caught mid-piss by the driver of the car. And done. Whew. I think that's about all for now. And now that I've completed my humiliation ritual, I can finally take my seat in the Illuminati, where I will ensure that every non-subscriber will have to pay 15% more in sales tax. So if you don't want that to happen to you, please subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Bye.